pandemonium. Use my fangs to murder ya. Yo soy la diosa, los demonios no me controlan. Soy culebra. What is up, everyone? This is 7 Octoberz. Welcome to Nightmare on Sedgwick Avenue podcast. Today is season 5, episode, I think 4 now. Yeah, 4. The season's been flying by. Today I have a really dope guest. She's really knowledgeable in a lot of different things. I really wanted to have her on because I really love her music and what she's doing as far as like for independent artists. So without further ado, let me bring on dope MC, and she does amongst other creative things that we'll get into. Her name is Indica Wave from NY. Hey, how's it going?
What's up, guys? How are you? It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for taking the time to meet with me. I kind of came across your page. I'm trying to think like where I found it. I don't know if it might have been like on a Spotify. Your song came up, and then I was like, oh, she's dope, and then I like followed you on IG or vice versa. But I really like your style. Like it's like I don't even know what it is because it's not. It's like rap, but it's also melodic, which I like. I love that type of like vibe to your music. And what would you say, like, where would you classify yourself? Like, what genre?
I think a lot of people will always ask me what is my genre, and I never have a straight answer because my music goes based off everything I've been influenced, plus the
Yeah,
emotion that I'm feeling when I'm making this music. Because my music is an embodiment of my surroundings, everything I've been around. So I'm Mexican American from New York, so I have
yeah,
like a lot of mixture of culture in my music. I speak Spanish sometimes in my music. I
yeah.
like to sing. I do like to rap. I've been rapping since I was young, so I like to incorporate a little bit of everything in my music. So I would say that my music is limitless. That's the genre.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I agree because I was like, I don't even like, and it's cool because I don't like putting like artists in a box because it's cool because you're like I say you can blend in with like the hip hop because obviously I can hear that influence, but then you also get like soul and like kind of R&B, and then obviously like you say you have like your Mexican roots too, which is cool. Um, and your name Indica Wave, where did that come from, and like what does it mean like to you?
So when I came up with the name, my brother was helping me with it. I told him that what I want to do with music is sort of relax people, trying to put them in a tranquil state, get them thinking about what I'm saying. Because music nowadays, I feel like it's just so much on the production. No one's really listening to the words. I like to put a lot
Hmm.
of emphasis on what I speak and kind of help people through their emotions, like the waves of emotions that we feel.
Yeah.
So indica relaxes you, the waves will wash over you, but never let it take you. Just let it, flow through the motions of life. That's what it
Yeah.
is. It's just so much deeper. People be like, "Oh, indica wave. Oh yeah, you like to smoke," and I'm like, "No, it's much deeper than all that."
That's pretty dope. Yeah. And I knew that's why I had to ask you because I'm like, it's a pretty cool name. Like, I love like the way it sounds and like the way like the two words go with each other. Um, and how long you said obviously you've been like rapping since you were little. Like, when did you start like doing music, and then when did you start taking it seriously, and what made you want to take it seriously?
All those different ages. I started rapping when I was around 8, 10 years old. I really started like rapping, like writing because of Tupac. Tupac inspired me through he used to write poetry and turned it into rap. So I did the
Yeah.
same. I would write poetry and then would stand in front of the mirror like this is how I'm going to do it, like delivery.
Hmm.
And I started freestyle battling in middle school with kids in my class, and from there, I took it serious around 2017, where I started just recording music and making songs and releasing them on the internet.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what made you want to like take it seriously? Like, was there something like you yourself, or was somebody told you like, oh, you're really dope, like you should do this, or what was the like that moment?
I actually have always wanted to do music. Since I was 16, I wanted to start making music, start recording. I
Hmm.
was in a very toxic relationship when I was younger,
Okay.
and I used to tell them like, I want to make music, I want to do this, and they would say, for what? That's never gonna go anywhere. That's not gonna do anything. So
Uh,
I didn't. I let that hold me back.
hmm.
The opinion of someone that I thought cared for me, and
Yeah.
then it happened again later on in life, and then so one day I'm not with anybody, and I'm like, you know what? Everyone's been holding me back, and the one person that's not gonna hold me back is myself. Because if I don't give
Yeah.
it a try, who knows what could happen? So it's so crazy that life played out this way. Because I feel like if I would have started at 16, I wouldn't be where I am today or have experienced the things that I've experienced. So
Yeah.
it's like it's great to feel that I've conquered that that feeling of no one's gonna tell me I can't.
Yeah, no, that's really dope and inspiring, and it's good that you went with your gut because yeah, like I feel I'm like kind of like in the same path as far as like where I ended up because I had kind of quit on my dreams too because I always wanted to make music and just do anything in like the entertainment, but for some reason or the other, like I went the other way and then somehow I ended up back here. So it's like things happen for a reason, I think. Like and like you said, like all the stuff that you had to go through, it kind of made you who you are today, and it obviously probably helps you like navigate, the music industry because that's like a whole nother monster, right?
Yes.
Especially being a woman, because I've been through shit where it's like people don't take you seriously sometimes, or you gotta work twice as hard to get the respect.
Yeah, you gotta demand respect as a woman. I feel like the way you carry yourself is a big thing. You have to carry yourself with so much confidence, so much grace, and business sense to not let anybody mess with you. Don't let anybody. These men are crazy, so you definitely need to think 10 steps ahead always.
Exactly. And then I really like your music videos that you have on YouTube. I'll put some here in the background. But like peace, not in pieces, right? Is one of your songs. Do you come up with the concepts and then
Yeah,
I think this one you directed it if I'm not mistaken. Like, do you direct most of them or how does that work?
yeah. I directed a piece on pieces. I did the screenplay, like I did all every scene as stick figures. So I
Okay,
think I've uploaded some of this on my Instagram before. I'm gonna put it again because I have all these little screenplays that I've done for all these videos. So you'll see
that's
stick
cool.
figures of me sitting on the bed, stick figures of me standing by the water in the video. There's like I really go in with every single scene. Through every lyric has to depict something meaningful. Yeah, this one was a really dope one to make. In
Mm-hmm.
this video, like you can see the part where I'm like kind of losing it. I get evicted from a home. I get like I'm going through things that people would normally go through. There's a scene
Yeah,
here that like right here I'm looking at the water, kind of just like contemplating life. Here this bus symbolizes so much. This is a broken down bus that won't drive anymore that we found. Like I was
that's
really
pretty
hoping
dope.
this, yeah, I
Yeah.
scouted this location through the internet. Here's me looking through my pockets. I don't have any money to buy myself anything to eat. Here I go going up the stairs to find what a terrible news. I'm about to get evicted.
Yeah.
And life will really come at you fast. So it's like I want to take that and kind of put that in the video. Life is coming at you fast. When will I be great? All this bad shit's happening. When is it going to be my turn to like be happy? Here I
Yeah.
am, going through a depression, sad, because it's real life stuff. I really want to help people through music. So
Mm-hmm.
what I put in my video is very meaningful to me because they're my real life experiences or experiences of people that I know. So I kind of involve all that to
Yeah.
kind of piece together, the feeling of at the end of the day, we're all going through motions of life. Here, look, I'm over here spiraling. I'm drinking. I don't even drink,
Yeah.
but it's like,
But like you're
yeah,
telling
look,
the
this
story of
toxic
like somebody
relationship.
that's going through it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all the things that all of us could possibly go through. Look, I'm with somebody that I think loves me, but here they are beating me up. This is real life stuff that I went through. I went through this. I went through being beaten in my first relationship ever. So I like to
Oh
show
wow.
stuff because it's like as women, we go through those things and they mess up our perception of self, mess up our perception of love. Here I am
Yeah.
taking my life because I'm just going through so much, but here I am, something pulled me back and I didn't do it in
Yeah.
the and these are real tears. I really cried in this
Oh
video. I
wow.
really went on to it. So there I am crying on the roof. Even the phone calls that I was getting, it shows
Mm-hmm.
a lover, a friend, like me calling them, but no one was picking up the phone for me. A
Oh
lover, a friend, a family member, like nobody was there. And
yeah.
here I am with myself, self-reflecting, looking at my future self, telling me like, you gotta be strong. You cannot let this beat you. You're about to do better. Come on, let's weigh the scale of like, if we keep going just a little bit longer, something good can happen.
Yeah.
And I'm like haunted by my past and my present. Something I say a lyric like that in there.
Yeah.
And here we are. I stop. You know what? I'm not gonna drink no more. I pour it down the drain. I don't need this.
Yeah.
I can be better. So I'm not gonna let it control me. Gonna get evicted. We'll figure out where we're gonna go. There's
Yeah.
my script right there too on the bed.
Yeah.
So in the video itself, I show the script that I created and
That's cool.
everything. Here I am on the bus, looking at my sunny day that awaits me. Cause if I hold on, it's possible.
Yeah, it's a
Towards the
really
end of
dope
the
video.
video, Yeah,
Go ahead.
towards the end of the video, I include like messages for domestic violence, just to help out anybody that's going through it. I put the suicide hotline for anybody that may be, contemplating things of that nature, that they're never alone, you know?
Yeah, no, it's really dope. I like that you like think about like the concept and actually like bring it to life. That's really dope. Um, do you ever think about like going into like filmmaking? Because I mean, if you're writing screenplays for videos, like
Oh yeah, I would love to help create cinematic moments. I've always wanted to be an actress as well. So this is why I put myself in my videos crying and things like that, because I get to show that I can
yeah,
do that. I can show emotions. I'm a very emotional being. But I understand my emotions to their depth, so I try to feel them out. And that's why I love making music, because I know that a lot of people have a hard time expressing themselves, and if
mm-hmm.
I could that vessel for those feelings that they embody as well, and give them a sense of like, wow, I'm not the only one. Then that's exactly why I have this ability to use my words, which is I can't take it for granted. So I
Yeah.
put it in my videos, and then really helping people. It's cool. So yeah, I would love to make movies.
Yeah, yeah, I'll keep you in mind because I'm like trying to like work on. That's my next step is filmmaking, and so if anything, I'll like cast you or something. uh,
Yeah.
and then obviously you're like from New York, like you're born and raised over there, or
Yes. I'm from
okay,
Queens. I'm from Corona, Queens, New York.
nice. How has that been? I'm over here on the West Coast, but like how has your upbringing like impacted your music?
Um, very, very much, because I love artists like Nas. Nas is from Queens, New York as well.
Yeah,
I love 50 Cent from Queens.
yeah,
Yeah, I love hip hop in general, because hip hop is such a big part of who I am.
yeah.
And I used to live in LA as well, so I got a feel of like this coast and that coast, and being able to mesh so much stuff into my music as well. I lived out there for almost like a year and a half.
Okay,
Yeah, I moved out there for a bit, and it's just a different vibe than over here.
yeah,
Here, yeah, it's so cool. Yeah, I think New York has really shaped me in the way that when it comes to freestyle or the lo-fi type of hip hop,
mm-hmm.
the real like spoken word type stuff. I think that really had a lot to do with what I do with my style of music.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I always loved like I gravitated towards like East Coast rap, like you said, like all those '90s, Lil Nas, Big L, all that stuff. Um, I'm over here in San Diego, so like honestly, like I do have favorite artists here from the West Coast, but I love more of the East Coast rappers. I'm probably gonna get hated on for that, but I feel like it's where it's the mecca, so it's kind of cool that you're on that side, like where like hip hop was born, and it's just really dope. Um, and for you, like obviously you're an independent artist, and you talk about a lot about that. I've seen lately like your stories, that's where we kind of connected. You try to like share some gems with people, on how to like market all that stuff. For you, what's your favorite part of being a like independent artist?
I got to experience not being an independent artist. I was signed for a bit, so I can
Okay.
see the clear difference as what freedoms I have as an independent artist.
Mm-hmm.
I got signed around the time where I was just first starting to make music and doing my thing, so I never got to taste what it was to be independent like that. I
Okay.
did maybe one project, and I got signed for one project,
Okay.
and from there, there was a lot of restriction on my creative freedom, on my style, on what I wanted to do, on how I wanted my videos to be, on how, and I
Yeah.
was just like, this is crazy, because I with now what I'm doing, these videos that I'm doing independently and with my own direction and stuff, like I that's the art that I always wanted to come out.
Yeah.
So I feel like being independent, you have the freedom to brand yourself. Like, who do you want to be? A lot of work in with music is like, it's not just about making music. You have to know who you are as an artist, as a person, as a being. That's how you create
Exactly.
that core like support system. You can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna throw a song out there, everyone's just gonna love it. You have to connect with people. Like, people are what makes your music go around. People are what helps you as an artist, especially when you're independent. Like, you need to have like a great support system. Yeah, independent artists just have more freedom to, it's a lot more work, for
Mm-hmm.
sure, but at the same time, you rather own your work. You rather own your art than to sell it to somebody else for, it's like selling, you can't put a price on your art, especially when you know the sufferment and what you
Yeah.
went through to create that art. Because art is like, I had to go through years of experience of hurt to write this song, and you're gonna sell it for like pennies. But yeah, pay me 0.00009 cents on this song. I know. Like you
Yeah,
have to know your art is so valuable. So any independent artist, just know that it may sound so cool to be signed to labels. It may sound so cool to just, oh, they're gonna do the work for me. No, like it's not cool.
it's
It's
true.
better when
Yeah.
you can own your stuff and say, yeah, like I did it. I got it out the mud, and no one like had to, it's just create a good support system of people that believe in you. And I swear, independent artistry can take you very far.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, great advice. And what about like obviously like you said, it's a lot of work when you're independent. What do you think is like the hardest part or the most difficult part about being an independent artist for you?
You kind of have to do everything. You have to wear all the hats.
Yeah.
You have to be the artist. You have to be the cover art designer. You have to be the director of the videos. You have to be your street team, marketing team. You
Mhm.
have to do the shows. You have to do it all. You have to wear those hats. But if you really want it, like trust me, you can juggle the hats. Because I'm a single mom, so I started making music when my daughter was very little.
Mhm.
I went into this not knowing a single soul in the industry. I went into this, threw myself into events, and I would research like who's going to be at these events? Who are the important people that I should talk to at these events? And
Yeah.
then I'd go already researched. Some people go there and they're there to party and mingle, and I was
Yeah.
there like that's the face of that person. Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Hey, my name's Indica Wave. Shake hands. And yeah, it's about just knowing who to speak to, knowing how to present yourself, and just being a genuine person. I've been in this for a while, and I've been able to tell like who's selling a dream and who's actually like real.
That's true. Yeah. No, you brought up good points. Like you said, like do your research because I think a lot of people, like you said, just go in there with like no plan, but you kind of have to be strategic. It's kind of like the same thing like I did. Like you kind of reminded me of me when I started because it first started as a blog instead of a podcast, and first immersed myself into the San Diego hip hop scene. And like you said, I went to like research on IG, like who's who, where are these events taking place, and then like you said, I would go up to these people and be like, this is I'm 7 October's, I do this, and like you said, and then from there you meet people, and I was lucky enough to like you said get a good support system, because you do need that, especially in this industry, because a lot of people try to take advantage if you're not like knowledgeable. um
Yeah. These stories like you'll hear how J. Cole was waiting outside, waiting for Jay-Z. You'll hear stories like this person was waiting outside in the rain and the cold for this DJ to come out. And all that stuff it was so much crazier back in the day that
yeah,
now you guys everyone has social media. So you can look at what events going on, who's attending the event, how can I make a network like relationships in the industry are so important, whether it's in the film industry, whether it's in photography, artistry, music, all that is so important because the network of people in this world is so small. Like when you really think about it, everyone
that's
knows
true.
everyone. So always do your research and, know who it is that you need to speak with to get one step closer to where it is that you want to be. You want to be a director, start going to these events for cinematography. You want to be an artist, go to these events where you'll see like music DJs, executives going, and you'll kind of just it'll all flow from there. Just being organic and being genuine, it'll take you far.
No, yeah, I agree. And for you, like, how do you like stay creative? Like what inspires you, and like how do you level up on your craft? Because obviously, like when you love something, you're always trying to get better at it. Like, what works for you?
I have recently realized that I need to transition towards how I create my art because for a long time I think my art was stemming a lot from pain.
Hmm.
As in my songs, like I when I look back at them, I'm like, wow, I was really like hurting
Yeah.
when I was writing, and I was very vulnerable writing it because I knew it was gonna serve a higher purpose.
Hmm.
So it's like a reflection for myself sometimes when I'm like, wow, I really felt all that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
There's been times where I've performed and I'm like crying during a performance. Like the first time I've ever performed like Peace Sign and Pieces, I
Hmm.
cried on stage and I kept going while I was doing the song. I kept rapping through it. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's been a journey of just my emotions have always been what have drove me and inspired me. Whenever I feel something, like I have to write about this.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes it feels like the universe sends me downloads. That's
Yeah.
what it feels like a lot of times. Sometimes I feel a lot, and I'm just like, what, I have to write about this. And I know it's not just for me; it's for somebody else too. And that's why I do my music. I put it out. So that inspires me. I think people, the support system of people that I have, I get a
Mm-hmm.
lot of messages from people that say that my songs like Frustration, Peace Nine and Pieces have helped them through some of the tough times in their lives. So
That's
that stuff
cool.
really inspires me that no matter when I go through a difficult time, I know that it's for a higher purpose, that I'm suffering, I'm going through something hot, deep, because it's meant to help somebody else. So I know that I have to do my best in wording those emotions so that they can help somebody else translate theirs.
Yeah, that's really dope. Yeah, I can like I said, like that's why I love your music because I feel like it is like you have a lot of emotion into it. And you could tell that you love what you do. So it shows. Um, and then as far as yourself, like, are you like living off like your independent artistry, or are you like have a 9 to 5? Because I like we have people that listen in that might be artists. So what? How do you make your ends meet and stuff like that? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, I do a lot of things. So I have a daughter. She's about to be 9 years old now.
Okay.
She's yeah. So I I thought of her and how I wanted to be with her still and do music, and I'm like, how can I do all that?
Hmm.
So I've been doing music, writing for other artists, taking song gigs. I do performances. I get paid off my artistry. I have my LLC off my like Indica Wave LLC. So I'm getting even on social media. I've learned how to monetize things on social media to make money on like just posting reels and and TikToks and things like that.
Yeah.
And besides that, I my father has a company where I help him run his business and do invoicing and stuff like that. Aside from that,
Hmm.
I have an online shop where I sell like clothing. On top of that, I have another like Etsy page where I hand dye clothing, and I'm
Oh
doing
wow.
that because I'm doing all these things that I love to do. Like I love fashion because
Yeah,
if you see my photos on Instagram, I love like clothes. So I love to like make things.
that's cool.
So I make necklaces. I make yeah, I make shirts. On top of that, like I do thrifting and thrifting flips. So I do whatever possible to make my money, still be at home with my daughter, still be able to make my music. It's a lot,
Yeah,
but it's like it's worth the reward of me being able to bask in like being able to enjoy my child, being able to enjoy my music, and still making those ends meet.
yeah. No, that's pretty inspiring. Cause yeah, I think nowadays you do need like multiple sources of income, to like make a good,
Yeah,
decent living, and especially like you have your daughter. I'm pretty sure you like care about generational wealth, passing that on to her.
yeah,
Um, And as far as like obviously being independent, like we mentioned, means you have to like promote yourself, market yourself. I think there's like a good video that I think it's Tyler the Creator where he talks about like if you really love your song, you're not gonna just drop it and promote it once. You're gonna like promote the shit out of it, if you really love what you're doing. So for you, what do you enjoy the most about like promoting and marketing, and then what do you dislike the most?
Um, I don't think I just like anything. I love promoting the work that I know that it took me maybe just like people will hear a song and not know that this song is 2 years in the making. Like I
Yeah,
created this back then and then it went through this process and then I added more and you guys are hearing it for the first time. So promoting it is so exciting for me
yeah,
in the sense that I've been anticipating this moment 2 years ago,
yeah,
waiting for someone to hear these lyrics until in my mind it was perfect enough to put it out.
yeah.
And now I actually started working with a marketing company. So now I'm part of a media marketing company where I can help other creatives. So it's not
Hmm.
just artists, it's artists, photographers, videographers, clothing brands. And I'm helping Sharad, who owns Metro Media. Shout out to him. He helped me market stuff back when in 2018 when I first started making music, when I had like 2,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's the same media company that, well, it's not the same media company, it's the same person
Okay.
who was helping since back then when he was just like in college in that time, and he was starting had these crazy ideas of like, oh, we can market like this, we can do that. And when Instagram was first in like it was easier to market
Hmm.
stages. Now he still finds the tricks to work around like these crazy
Yeah.
algorithms and these crazy things. So that's why it's so cool to come back full circle and
Yeah.
be working with the same person that helped me advance in my artistry, and now I can do that for other artists. So that's super cool to me.
Yeah,
Marketing
that's pretty cool.
marketing is fun. Marketing
Yeah.
is fun because now on the other aspect of it, I'm helping other artists kind of like have their viral moments or like, work on their art and do what they want to do. Live their dreams.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I wasn't like a fan of it, I think. Like for me it was more I think like the I feel like I'm selling myself, but then like my little sister was like, no, like you said, like she's like, it's fun, like you get to like do all these different things with it. And then like you said, we're putting so much work. Why not, promote it? I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't see it that way. I think like as a creative, like I was seeing more like the logical side to it, and I was like, I don't like it. But then I was like, okay, I get it. Like we need to do this because how else are people gonna find you? You know?
You gotta, it's not like selling yourself, it's more like promoting this project that you worked so hard to make, and it's worth like
Exactly.
promoting because you know when you were making it, you did it with the intention like I want people to see this.
Exactly. Yeah. And then as soon as I changed my mindset, I was like, okay, like I see, it's not like work, It's like I said, it's part of the process.
Yeah.
And talking about that, like, what's your favorite part of like the creative process, and what is the most difficult for you?
My favorite part of the creative process is the feeling of feeling inspired feels nice. Like when you feel inspired, I don't know what it is, like a feeling in your chest, like
Yeah.
an electricity that goes through your body. Like when you have a great idea, you're just like you can't stop, your pen can't stop on the page. Like that's my favorite part of it, feeling and connecting when I listen to beats and I'm just like, oh, this is awesome. This is gonna be great. Like I get really excited. I've been doing this for a while now, so the more you practice on your craft, the faster it becomes. Like I've
Yeah.
sat down in songs in like less than 30 minutes. And
Oh
that's
wow.
what's crazy to me, that it used to take me much longer than that. And now I'm in a state where it just flows and it feels great to
Yeah.
be able to do that.
Yeah. That's pretty dope.
I think the
Uh.
most difficult part of the creative process would be, as everybody, I get burnt out too. When
Okay.
I over stress myself on like the little things, like that's not good enough, like that's not good enough. I doubt myself and I
Hmm.
get burnt out. That's the worst part of the creative process, and I think we all go through it because we all are our worst critics.
Yeah.
um,
That's true.
yeah, and we tend to doubt ourselves, so that's the worst part of the creative process, but I'm learning to just accept the fact that nothing's ever going to be perfect, the timing's never going to be right, you just got to do it and got to feel it and just roll with the punches because something great is still going to come out of what it is that you're feeling.
Yeah, no, it's true. And what talking about like burnout and everything. Yeah, I love this video. I love like the that old school like '90s vibe. Where's like that where Craig Mack like had his main
Yes.
cover, right?
Yep, that's on the mood board. That's why I created the mood board.
Yeah.
I did my friend Tiffany, she co-directed the video with me. She's amazing. She's also from Queens. So
Okay.
as a an ode to Queens, we use the globe that's in
Yeah.
Flushing Meadow Park in Queens. So
That's
there it
dope.
is. Yeah.
I need to go to New York. Like I've only been to the Niagara Falls side and Buffalo. But yeah, I need to go there. Yeah, really dope video. And then talking about like you said, a burnout and all that stuff. Like, what do you do for like your mental health, like to take care of yourself?
A lot of journaling, a lot of meditating, a lot of just trying to be active and be outdoors because sometimes in New York it's cold. It's like it's more, you're more susceptible to just feeling sad because you can't feel the fresh air so much because the wind hits you and your face freezes. So you can't do all that sometimes. But I think a lot of it is just meditating and self-reflection and trying to use affirmations to help myself because sometimes when my own thoughts put me in a negative frame of mind,
Hmm.
there has to be that other side of my brain that's fighting against that. Like, you look, listen, you've been living in this house too long. Get out of here. Negative thoughts, and you got to fight it. You really have to do that because if you want to be your best self, you have to fight the old self that still lives within your mind.
Yeah, that's true. And then as far as like obviously I have to ask like what's some of your like favorite MCs or like hip hop albums?
Oh, um, my favorite hip hop albums. One of my favorite hip hop albums. It's like very all it's hip hop, but it's just soulful and different. Mac Miller's The Divine Feminine is one of my
Oh,
favorite
I love
projects
that.
of all
Yeah.
time. Like I listen to one of those songs every single day. Like there's not a day that goes by that I don't listen to that. Nas, all his albums, maybe the Lost Tapes because
Okay.
he has a song on there called Purple. That's one of my favorite songs ever. Um what else? 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die
Oh yeah, that's
Trying.
a classic.
I remember being young and my dad like stuck me into the movie theater to watch the movie. I was really young.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? This is the best movie ever. 8 Mile, Eminem
Oh
too. I saw
yeah.
that movie and I had the album as well. Curtain Call. There's just so many. I had all of Tupac's albums. I have all I love Tupac is what is one of my favorite rappers. Like
Yeah.
number probably like number one.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
anything J. Cole as well. J. Cole has inspired me so much. I have some of his mixtapes from when he was in St. John's University and he was
Oh,
putting
that's
out
dope.
under
Is
a
it like the
different.
Friday Night Lights and all those, or like the warm up,
Oh,
or
when
more older?
when he was the therapist, when he wasn't J. Cole, when he was the therapist.
Oh shit. Okay, that's
Yeah,
dope.
so it was like before
Way
and
before those.
yeah, way before the Friday Night Lights.
Okay.
So yeah, some of those projects like stayed embedded in my mind. Nicki Minaj's the Pink album, which one
Oh
was it?
yeah.
Yeah, where she's like sitting and looks like a doll.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
skipped school that day to go buy that album when it dropped. My mom's watching this, I'm so sorry. But I skipped school to buy the album and it was great. I remember putting it in my CD player and just like this is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I just saw like they released some sort of like top 10 or something, and she was up there, and I'm like, yeah, that's dope. That like to see a female up there because
Only woman
she
on
did
here.
change the game. Yeah. And talking about like lists and all that stuff. You just posted I think like the swipe 100 or something like that. What is that? And then you were like, congrats, you're like you were on the top five. Like you went from 35 to five. What is that for
Yeah.
those that who might not know?
Music Swipe is a platform where you can upload clips of your music, so like your songs that you have out, and people, the listeners, they vote on like it's like Tinder.
Okay.
Swipe right on the artist that you think their song is good. You swipe left on the ones that you're like, you know. So as it counts on like the swipes that you get. So somehow people heard my clip of the Friends Over Everything psych. The song's been out for a long time, so it's just
Wow.
crazy because people swiped on it. And I joined the app a while back, never thought much of it. I seen it
Yeah.
promoted on Instagram and I was like, oh, like this is cool. This is like a cool concept. There's it's not like industry driven like that yet, I feel, because
Oh,
it's
okay.
independent artists really have a chance to just be seen on that platform. So
Okay.
shout out to music for all that. I think the CEO is a woman who's
Oh,
like
wow.
seems super dope. Yeah, I think her name is Jackie. So it's a super cool app for any independent artists out there that wanna, get another platform to put their music on, like
Mhm.
clips of their music. Music Swipe music with a Z instead of the S.
Okay.
Definitely put clips of your music on there. You never know what could happen. You could be on the top 100, it's like 100.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I didn't even know that. I was like, I'm gonna tell my friends about that because I'm like, that's really dope. Um,
Yeah.
and then as far as what's like one thing that you're grateful for that like hip hop has allowed you to do?
One thing I'm grateful for is hip hop has allowed me to express myself in a very cool way. I was always told in my house not to curse and not to like don't do this, don't do that. But in hip hop, like I could curse and I could express myself in a gritty way, and like it's just very different. Especially with through style as well. I've always dressed like a tomboy. I love like the hip hop fashion. I
Okay.
love the culture of everything that is hip hop. Yeah, it's allowed me to really become who I am as
Mhm.
well. It shaped a big part of me, so I'm very grateful for hip hop for all of that.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, I love like I always love the fashion. I love like I'm a sneakerhead, so I love sneakers. Like that's my favorite part. um, and then obviously, like I said, this is a hip hop and horror podcast, so I gotta ask, like, do you watch horror movies? Are you a horror fan or not really?
No, I don't watch scary movies. I used to watch scary movies, and I ended up just like always having nightmares and stuff. So I stayed away from it. But I there was a time in life where I really liked to scare myself and watch scary movies.
Yeah.
Um, and the ones that were always like super scary to me was were anything where it's like someone's getting possessed was so scary to me because
Oh
it's
yeah.
like,
Like
I
real.
come from the Mexican culture where it's like we really do believe that this stuff is real. Like there's darkness and all that's out there. So I'm praying hard, like, okay, yeah, The Exorcist,
Oh yeah.
Chucky, all the Chucky movies I think were super dope.
Hmm.
Towards the end it started getting a little crazy, but I really love Chucky 1, Chucky 2, Chucky 3.
Yeah, I
Um
agree.
the original one always scared me so much because if it scared me then it was a good movie.
Oh yeah.
Because if it didn't scare me then it was kind of corny. If it didn't scare me. Yeah, I think all the psycho thrillers as well were kind of crazy too. Like Saw 1,
Hmm.
Saw 2, like they were just super crazy. Final Destination I count as like
Yeah.
uh Yeah, because it gives you anxiety of real life things like, oh my God, I can't walk under this underpass or I can't walk over here. This shit's gonna fall on me and I'm gonna
Yeah.
die. It gives you that anxiety, especially seeing it as a kid. You're just scared of everything at that point. Like I could
That's true.
die anywhere.
I know. I always remember the scene where it's like those logs in like the freeway. Like every time I see one of those trucks, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going behind that shit. I'm not gonna speed up. Um, and then talking about like like the beliefs, especially like in the like Latino culture. Like for you, do you believe in the supernatural, or have you ever had any like supernatural experiences?
I've had supernatural experiences, which is why I say like I shout out to everyone who could sit through scary movies now, but ever since I've been frightened, I I don't watch them as much as I used to, you know.
Yeah. What's like one story that you can share that you
Um
remember?
yeah, well, when I had my 15th birthday party in Mexico in this hotel where I think it was built over where I guess there was a war and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
like things happened there. I think kids passed away and a whole bunch of stuff. The hotel was nice.
Mm-hmm.
It was over this other land.
Yeah.
Um, so I remember that night it was gonna be my 15th birthday party. I went upstairs into my room with my dad. He went to the bathroom and I stayed there changing my shoes because I was uncomfortable. So I was changing my shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a knock on the door. So all you hear is,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, my dad's in the bathroom. I'm like, oh, who is it? So I go and I get up and I open the door and nobody is standing at the door. But when I look ahead, there was like another hall or there's another strip like of a balcony where people can walk.
Mm-hmm.
And I look ahead and there was like a little boy with a blanket over his head like this.
I don't know.
And he looks at me, turns, and then runs into the wall.
Oh,
Like he
what the
just
hell?
disappeared into the wall. And I was so it was like my party hadn't even started. So I'm already like
Shit.
I don't want to be here. so so I was so scared. I thought about it the whole night. Like I'm here trying to celebrate, trying to,
Mm-hmm.
have fun, but I'm just like, what did I see
Oh
earlier?
shit. No wonder you don't watch horror movies. I wouldn't either.
What was that? An apparition? Like maybe
Yeah.
it was a little boy trying to play a trick on me, maybe. Yeah, So at the end of the night, it didn't stop there. At the end of
Mm-hmm.
the night, I the party ends
Mm-hmm.
and I go upstairs and my parents were in my grandfather's room. I think he wasn't feeling well that night and they were just, trying to help him out. And I sat in the hallway of the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Father's room is right here on this door right here, and there's a hall that goes straight, like a long hall, and there's a
Mm-hmm.
mirror at the end of the hall. So I'm sitting on the floor
Mm-hmm.
outside my grandfather's room. My parents were inside, and the lights above of the hall are the types of lights that turn on only when you walk. Like
Oh,
when someone
okay.
starts,
Like motion centers or type of
yeah,
thing.
the lights start to turn on. So
Uh-huh.
as I'm sitting on the floor, I start to hear like footsteps, like someone's walking, like, and all the lights start turning on,
Oh
like
hell no.
one after another, after another, after another. And then in the mirror at the end of the hallway, I see the little boy that I saw earlier inside the mirror,
What the
like
hell?
in the reflection of the mirror. And
Mm-hmm.
I looked, and then I looked again, and he was gone again. And at this point, I'm just like freaked out, and I'm just like, if I tell anyone, they're gonna think I'm crazy. They're
Mm-hmm.
gonna think I just don't want to say anything at this point. And I told them like I think I saw something,
Mm-hmm.
and I was scared. And then someone had to like sleep with me that night. I remember like my brother was there, my dad was there, and I was just there scared. And
Yeah.
then while everyone was sleeping, the doorknob started like rattling,
Oh hell no.
and I remember just like, what's going on? Maybe I felt like maybe this little boy is trying to tell me something because
Mm-hmm.
I'm also young, because I'm still young. So they say like,
Like little
kids
kids.
or yeah, people see things more than others.
Yeah.
I've always had heightened sense to things like energy and stuff like that as well. So I feel like I'm just susceptible to things like that, and more
Yeah.
like if I watch scary stuff, I feel like I'm opening a door as well susceptible to those things. So I try to stay away from that. I'd be praying like
Yeah.
please, no more ghosts. But yeah, it was a crazy thing to witness. So
Yeah.
yeah, I have a lot of respect for the other side.
Yeah. What part of Mexico was that? Do you remember? Or?
I'm not sure what part of Mexico it was. I feel like I was in Puebla,
Okay.
um, but I'm not sure where the hotel that I stayed at or where the party was. I just
Okay.
remember it was near a really beautiful church. That's where I had it was right across the street from the church where all this stuff happened.
Oh wow.
I think that was the last time I ever like went to Mexico too. I think that was the last time I visited, to be honest, because I was a little scared.
Yeah, yeah, there's a lot of stuff over there too. I think it has like I don't know if it's because it's still close to like the wilderness, some of the like the towns. I feel like
Yeah.
it is more like yeah, like my little sister too is like more susceptible to that stuff, and my mom. Like I've never I think the only thing I've encountered that was close to supernatural, it was like in sixth grade camp, like over here on the west coast we go to like this camp called Camp Palomar. It's like in the middle of the woods and stuff like that, and I thought I saw a shadow of like a duende or like a dwarf, so I
Oh
kind of
yeah.
believe in those little things. And then when I went to Mexico, maybe like 5 6 years ago, there was like a museum of duendes, which was kind of cool. And a lot of people like gave like encounters of like that they've had with them. And I'm like, oh yeah, like I knew I saw one, but I didn't actually see the thing. I just saw the little shadow of it running around.
It's so scary what they say about them. Like sometimes they take children or like they'll trick you
Yeah,
or sometimes there's bad ones. I'm like, what?
yeah, yeah. That's what they
I
were
hope
saying.
I hope I never encounter
Yeah,
one.
there was one where it was like the guy actually that drove us because we kind of like rented like a car, and like the guy that was like kind of like our chauffeur guy, he said that he was sleeping one day and he felt something like crawling on top of him, and he woke up and it was like one of the little duendes, and like he grabbed it, and the little thing was like, oh, let me go and I'll give you some money, blah blah blah. And I was like, no, I don't want to see you ever again. And then it disappeared and never came back.
Yeah, you're
So
supposed to tell them like you're not welcome here. Like if you welcome them into your home, then they'll start like messing with you supposedly.
yeah, and I think it's like prone in Mexico because again, it's like the wooded area, so a lot of like those towns like supposedly like they like play around with like the horses' tails and braid the tail or something like that. I was like, oh god, but yeah, they say
Ooh.
that there's evil ones and then there's good ones, like you said. But yeah, I was like, ah, yeah, I'm good.
You ever see one in your home, you gotta evict them.
Yeah, yeah. I know. One of my coworkers said that there was like an evil one that like all of a sudden like all these bad things were happening to this family that she knew. Like they were always fighting and all this stuff, and then they saw this like little green thing. It was like really ugly looking, and I guess like they ended up blessing the house, and it left, and then everything like turned around because I think it was just feeding off that negative energy,
Yeah.
supposedly. But I was like, oh shit, that's crazy if it's true.
Like he's like, sorry for stirring up trouble. Here's something for your worries. Left a check and
I know, right? Oh my god. Um, yeah, man. I want to thank you again for spending some time here and like sharing some of your knowledge. Is there anything else? Like, oh, actually, I was gonna ask you. We were talking before we got on here that you're working on new music. Are you working on like? Do you prefer singles or are you working on an album or what can you share?
I'm working on singles. I feel like I really this year I want to have fun. I have a lot of music that I've stored away in my vault for quite some time. That I wasn't ready to release yet, and I've always like, oh, it's not the perfect time, but I feel like there's no other time like right now to
Yeah.
do it all. Especially because what I want to drop is very different. We were talking about genres earlier, and I said my genre right now is limitless. I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing soft rock music. I'm doing Latin music. I'm doing still into the hip hop, but I'm gonna do it differently.
Okay.
Uh, because I really feel comfortable now with knowing who I am as an artist, knowing my style, and that I like to be fluid. You know, like water. I just want to make music that has emotion, that means something. So I'm excited to be dropping a song most likely in March. I'm dropping something really dope. So
Okay.
that it's gonna be like a soft rock song. So I'm
That's
excited for
cool.
that. Something different.
That's dope. I'm excited to hear that. And then before we get out of here, I usually like to end it with this question. What kind of legacy would you like to leave behind, either personally or creatively?
I think what I'd like to leave behind. I always am very careful with how I express myself, what I say, because I know it's gonna live forever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have a child, so what I'd like to leave behind is something for the next generations to kind of like be better, do better. There's a lot of crazy things in this world that go on, and I just want people to know that we shouldn't let our emotions control us so much because that is the root of all that is destructive, self-destructive or destructive to the world. And I would love to leave a legacy where we are more work together more as a collective because we're all human beings at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
I'd love for maybe I won't be alive to see it, but I hope I am to see the day that we can really unite as people. And you know, and we they say this in Spanish. Nos echamos la mano entre todos and between everybody. Because at the end of the day, we are all trying to build a legacy for ourselves, for our children, for our children's children. So why not help each other do all that, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I'm the same way. Like everything, like you said, everything you say, and then like I say, you have your, your daughter and everything. Pretty much all the energy and all the stuff that you put out there is what what you manifest. So it's really important what you say. Um, and then actually, a fun fact that I noticed too, we actually share the same birthday. I was like, when I was researching on your IG, my birthday's on June 15th too. So it's kind of funny.
Wow, you know what's so crazy? I just went to this home goods store, like a home for goods where they sell frames and furniture. And I went to go buy a frame for my daughter. She just got an award at school for like being an enthusiastic learner, like one of the top students. So I
Yeah,
was like, I gotta go buy a frame. And I went to go buy this frame for my daughter, and the lady at the register was having trouble doing something, and she was making me put information on like my birthday and all this stuff.
yeah.
Like June 15th, she's like, that's my brother's birthday.
Oh,
And I just heard that recently, so that means something. You know, the number 615 means a lot to me just because that's like my birthday. That represents so much to me. In angel numbers as well, like
yeah.
it's a very like beautiful meaning as well. So
Mm-hmm.
like I say, but everybody look up
Yeah.
615. So and Tupac's birthday is 616, so it's like the
Yeah.
day right after our birthday is Tupac's birthday. So I always took that as something so dope that he's the reason why I started my rap journey, as well as my brother is a big inspiration as to why I started.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to see those connections in the universe where someone tells me like, "Oh, we have the same birthday." I'm just like there's a reason for that.
Yeah, and I agree. And it's weird. Like I don't know if it happens to you too, but or maybe because it's my birthday or our birthday. But like I see the number 6:15. Like every time, like when I look at my clock, like 6:15 in the evening always shows up. And I was like, I don't know if it's like a sign something's gonna happen. I don't know. But I was
Yes.
like, yeah. So it's cool. Well, yeah. Thank you again for spending time here and getting to know you and everything. Is there anything else you want to shout out before we get out of here?
Um, Shout out to everyone watching because you guys are very important. You are love, you are light, and I hope that you guys are always safe and protected, putting good vibes and prayers over you guys. Shout out to all the artists out there grinding, trying to make their dreams come true, all the creatives of the world trying to do this because I know the machine is against us, but
Yeah.
the one who's really against us sometimes is ourselves. So let's get out of our own way and really make a change in the world with our creativity.
Yeah, yeah, I agree 100%. Well, thank you so much. And then for everybody listening, thank you again for tuning in. If you love this episode, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already to my YouTube channel here at 7 Octoberz. Follow Indica Wave. There's her IG. I'll also share any of her links on the description. And thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you guys.